Good morning, students. Today we are discussing what is meant by supremum and infimum, then how to find out supremum and infimum. First of all, what is meant by supremum of a sequence, or another name for that, least upper bound of a sequence. Then what is meant by supremum or least upper bound? A real number m is said to be supremum or least upper bound of a sequence. Then first of all, it should be an upper bound. What is the condition for upper bound? Xn less than or equal to m for every n belongs to n. Then it is least upper bound. M is the least upper bound means m minus epsilon, it won't become an upper bound of that sequence. That means there should be at least one term sk in that sequence such that sk should be greater than m minus epsilon. You should remember that. What are the conditions? A real number m is said to be supremum or least upper bound if first condition what should be? That should be an upper bound. Upper bound means xn less than or equal to m for every n belongs to n. And then m is the least one means m minus epsilon, that is less than m, it should not become an upper bound. That means there should be at least one term sk such that sk greater than m minus epsilon. Now what is meant by infimum of a sequence or the greatest lower bound of a sequence? Then a real number m is said to be infimum or greatest lower bound of a sequence. First of all, it should be lower bound. What is meant by lower bound? Xn greater than or equal to m for every n belongs to n. Then it is the greatest. Then that is the greatest lower bound means m plus epsilon, it won't become a lower bound. That means there should be at least one term sk such that sk will be less than m plus epsilon. Then what are the conditions? Two conditions. First condition, it should be lower bound. That means xn greater than or equal to m for every n belongs to n. Then next one, there should be at least one term sk such that sk will be less than m plus epsilon. Since m is the greatest one, then m plus epsilon can't become a lower bound of that sequence. Now we will find out how can we find out supremum and infimum of the sequence. For that, the given sequence is 1 plus 1 by n. Yesterday also we did one problem based on the same sequence 1 plus 1 by n. How we get a1? 1 plus 1 by n. That is terms of the sequence we will find out. That is 2. Then a2 what we get? 1 plus 1 by 2, 3 by 2. Then a3, 1 plus 1 by 3, that is 4 by 3. Then a4 means 1 plus 1 by 4, that means what we get? 5 by 4. Like that similarly when we do it, what we get? an is 1 plus 1 by n, that is n plus 1 by n. Now just see all the terms you see. First term, what is that? a1 is 2. Then a2 is 3 by 2, 1.5. Then like that all the terms are, we are getting all the terms are less than 2. Then every element of the sequence we can write less than or equal to 2. First one is equal to 2. All other terms are less than 2. Then again one more thing. Here first term an is what is 1 plus 1 by n greater than 1. Then like a1 is 1 plus 1 by 1 greater than 1. a2 also 1 plus 1 by 2 greater than 1. a3 all the terms are all greater than 1. Then first we got it that all the terms are less than or equal to 2. Now we got that all the terms are greater than 1. That means what we are getting? 1 less than an less than or equal to 2 for every n belongs to n. Then we got lower bound also we got and upper bound also. What is upper bound here? 2 is the upper bound. Then what is the lower bound here? 1 is the lower bound. Then we don't know which is the supremum and infimum. Supremum means it is least upper bound and infimum is greatest lower bound. Then when you take any number smaller than 2, whether it will become a upper bound. Just check that any number 2, whether it will become an upper bound of the sequence. 2 less than 2 we will take that. Less than 2 we will take that 1. Then 1 can whether it can be upper bound. For the first one term only it won't satisfy. Then any real number greater than 1, whether it can become a lower bound, any number greater than 1, we will take 2. Whether 2 can become 2 or 3 we will take. Then whether 3 can become a lower bound for all the sequence, for the first term only it won't become that. Then we are getting supremum of the sequence is 2 and infimum is 1. We will move on to the next problem, sequence 1 by n. This sequence also we have discussed that earlier classes. Sequence 1 by n means 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 3, etc. Then here see all the terms are, what we get, all the terms can I tell less than or equal to 1? Because first one 1, second one 0.5, 0.3 like that. That means all the terms are less than or equal to 1. Then then 1 is the, which one? Upper bound. Then whether 1 is the least upper bound? 1 is the least upper bound. Because any number less than 1, if I take 0, whether 0 can become an upper bound here? Can't become that. Again, infimum. We can write that all the terms are greater than 0. Because first one is 1, second one is 0.5, then 0.3 like that. All the terms are greater than 0. Then that is whether we should check whether it is greatest lower bound. Greatest lower bound means we will take that 1. Then 1 whether we will get that 1 will be that infimum in this, it should be greatest. 1 cannot become a lower bound for that. Then infimum is, which one is we are getting? Greatest lower bound is 0, then that is the infimum. Next one, we should find out supremum and infimum of the sequence minus 1 power n. Here what are the terms of the sequence minus 1 power n? Minus 1, 1, minus 1, 1, etc. Then what will be supremum? Clearly you can say supremum should be 1, and infimum what we get that? It will be minus 1. Now we will move on to the next one. Sequence. Supremum of the sequence an is minus n. Minus n means what we get that? Minus n. Minus n terms of the sequence are minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, etc. Then we can write all the terms are less than or equal to minus 1, and it is less than 0, it is less than 1, and it is less than all any positive number. If we take also, all the terms are less than that. Because we are considering only minus n means only negative numbers are there. Then n is less than or equal to 1 also, n is less than 0, n is less than 1, like that, all that one. But what we should find out, these are all upper bounds. But we want to find out supremum or least upper bound. Then which is the least number in that? Which is the least number? Minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, all that upper bounds. Then which is the least upper bound? Least upper bound is minus 1. Next one, we should find out what is infimum of the sequence an. N is 1, 2, 3. We can write all the terms are greater than or equal to 1. All the terms are greater than 0. Then all the terms are greater than minus 1 also. All the terms are greater than minus 2. Like that, all the terms are all greater than any negative number also. But what we should find out? Infimum we should find out. Infimum means, what is meant by infimum? Greatest lower bound. We got 1, 0, minus 1, all are there as lower bound. But which is the greatest lower bound? We should take the greatest number among all these lower bound. That is 1. Then infimum we will get it as 1. Thank you so much.